The Torrent This Top 10 is proudly brought to you by Pop Culture, Australia's leading online retailer for all your pop culture merchandise. With thousands of products available at your fingertips, including action figures, collectibles, pop vinyl, bobbleheads, statues, props, cards, graphic novels and books, DVD and Blu-ray, and much, much more, popculture.com.au is your one-stop shop for everything you need. popculture.com.au, proud supporters of the Torrent This network.
I feel like it's so far away.
I
know.
know.
I have to scream, but
I
forget the
can't
mic's
see
there.
a fucking thing.
Welcome to the Torrent This Top 10, the show where Michael and I choose a topic, decide our own top 5, and then combine them to make the Torrent This Top 10 list. Our topic today, best UFC fighters of all time. Now before we get into things, we must first predict what each other's top 5 will be, so let's start with Michael.
Hey guys, it's Michael the Expert Lovados, or for this episode, Michael the Fighter Lovados. A jab. No, that's a hook. What am I doing? Okay, so Dando's top 5 UFC fighters. I believe, in no particular order, 4-2, 5-2. Chuck Liddell. He is the Iceman. I believe he is okay, let's be honest. I'm not giving Dando a lot of credit for this one. So I'm just going with who I think like a pop culture, people that have bridged that gap from fighter to pop culture figure. So Chuck Liddell, Kimbo Slice. I think Kimbo Slice has a very interesting story, and maybe Dando has been drawn to that because Dando at the moment he's like the backyard fighter with Torrent This. It's just like Kimbo Slice, kindred spirits. Tito Ortiz, he dates a porn star. Dando's married. Maybe he wants to live vicariously through Tito Ortiz. Quentin Rampage Jackson. Everyone loves Quentin Rampage Jackson. And number 1, I think he's going to go with number 1 just because everyone considers Anderson Silva to be their number 1. So why wouldn't Dando? Now, let's see what happens.
Okay, Torrent This Top 10 UFC fighters of all time. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get some facts wrong during this top 10, so if I do, I apologise. I'm not the biggest fan of MMA. I'm a casual fan, and I know enough to get through the top 10, and I'm doing this for all you UFC fans out there, so if I get anything wrong, comment below, vent your anger at me, I'll cop it on the chin, I don't mind. I've told you though, I've warned you, I may get some things wrong, but anyway, I think Michael's top 5, or 2 to 5, is going to consist of John Jones. I think... Well, see, Michael, there's either 2 ways he's going to go down this. He's either going to go down the path of best actual fighters, based off like the record, or best draw cards. And being wrestling fans, there was a possibility I felt Michael could have gone for the draw card angle, and if he did, I would have gone for someone like Chael Sonnen, that kind of fighter. Not the best fighter, but people want to see him get the shit kicked out of him, so he's awesome in that regard. But I think Michael's going to go for best fighter. So I think Michael's top 2 through to 5 are going to be John Jones. I think he's going to have John Jones. He's the best, in my opinion, pound-for-pound fighter in UFC at the moment. So you think he's going to have John Jones. I also think he's going to have Randy Couture. Randy Couture, he's the guy that... He's like the face of modern UFC. Everyone knows Randy Couture. Plus, he was in The Expendables. And we all know how much Michael loves The Expendables. So Mr. Couture. I also think he's going to have the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. He's also one of the poster boys of the modern day of UFC. And I think everyone who really likes UFC likes Chuck Liddell. I think. Probably wrong. But Chuck Liddell, I also think he's going to have Anderson Silva. Regarded as probably the best fighter in the world today. He's very cocky, but he is without a doubt probably the best fighter there is out there. So Anderson Silva, you'd think would make Michael's top 5. And also at number 1... is the man who was in, the A-Team. He is one of the funniest men, not just in MMA, but in what you wouldn't call it Hollywood, in sport, in entertainment. Rampage Jackson. Everyone knows Rampage Jackson. Even if you're a male between the age of like 15 and 40, even if you don't follow UFC, you know who Rampage Jackson is. You've heard of Rampage Jackson. I've heard Michael talk about Rampage all the time. He loves him. So I think Michael's number 1 is going to be none other than Quentin Rampage Jackson. They are my top 5 for Michael. Let's see how I go this week. Welcome to the Torrent This Top 10. I am Dando. This is, of course, Michael, the Expert Lovados.
The Expert.
You haven't been called that for a long time.
It's implied.
Are you still the expert when Mr. Juicy's here?
Yes.
What's Mr. Juicy?
He's the
wrestler?
The wrestler.
The wrestler.
Or the insider.
Give me the inside terms.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks to our sponsors, Pop Culture, who we love very dearly here at Torrent This, and also to Quody Shirt, who have cursed us once again. Now, I believe Michael may be wearing this in an upcoming episode of the Torrent This Top 10.
The shirt's so nice, I wore it twice.
What is it?
Classically trained.
Now, did you ever own a NES?
Yes.
You did own a NES?
Yes, I owned a NES.
I thought, no, you didn't like Sega.
I know, I was not a Sega kid. No, I was Nintendo. Team Nintendo.
So that's a good shirt for you then?
Yeah, it is. That's why I wore it twice. Completely by choice.
And mine says, so I'm kinda a big dill.
Yep.
Suits me just fine.
Which is good, but I don't know if we have dill pickles in Australia.
We may have to.
I think we just call them pickles.
Yeah, I thought dill was a pickle. I didn't realise it was a type of pickle.
I don't know. My
Anyway,
pickle knowledge isn't.
If you're a bit of a dill, you better get this shirt from Quody Shirt. Also, as I said, thanks to Pop Culture, who are giving us a $30 gift card that we're going to be giving away in this episode. Because what do we do, Michael? Every Monday on the Facebook page.
We put up what we're doing. We are like what list we're doing. We ask
actually
you.
said it yet.
Yeah. Oh yes. We put up what list we're doing, which this time it was top UFC fighters. And then people go on there and they comment on what their number one would be. Then they share it and they like it and they get up to 3 entries. And I tell you, this was the one to be in. Because apparently our audience does not know much about UFC.
Yeah, exactly right.
So if you commented, you have roughly a 12% chance of winning.
I won a 12. So, and also Quody Shirt giving us a voucher. It's a 50% off up to 5 items. We're going to give that away as well. So that's pretty much...
Look, without saying that you're guaranteed, I'm going to call it right now. Sam Chadwick, you're probably getting something.
Also, you'll be fuming if he doesn't.
Oh, good. Leaving stupid comments on our thingo.
Lambjack videos.
Oh,
Anyway, so thanks to Quody Shirt, thanks to Pop Culture. But just before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that I apologise, for I am not very knowledgeable of the old Ultimate Fighting Championship.
yes.
I know enough
To get by.
To pick a top 5.
Yep.
But I haven't watched it for a long time. I haven't watched it pretty much since Lesnar went back to wrestling.
Wow. Okay.
No. I've watched it since then. But it's sort of... I used to go down to the Sporting Globe and I was into it. I was full on into it. There was a brief, maybe a 1.5 year, 2 year period where I was right into it. I would look up the results, blah, blah, blah. Now, if it's on, I'll watch it, but I don't go out of my way to watch it.
It's hard without a good narrative.
I just feel UFC... it's very the MMA market's very flooded now.
Yeah.
There's so much of it.
There is.
And that's what ruined wrestling for me as well. There was just too much to watch.
Well, I ran my list past a guy who does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I work with. I used to. I stopped though. I was just
You did used to do it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Suit and everything.
I had my gi and my little white belt. But he's like, your list is terrible.
Oh, good.
So,
That's exactly what we want.
That's good.
All right,
So tell us that our list is terrible, and then I will engage with you like I engaged with Sam Chadwick.
We want you to post below. Tell us what your top 5 or top 10. If you want it all the way. Top
Be
10.
like, I know everything about fighting. I'll give you top 100. Do it.
So if you think that we're wrong, tell us. We want you to comment and also subscribe to the channel. But let's get into the top 10 UFC fighters of all time. Number 5. Michael, you kick off today's proceedings.
Okay, my number 5 is Ronda Rousey. Do you even know who that is?
Yes, I do know Ronda Rousey.
Okay,
of course I know who she is. Apparently, I can't believe I didn't think of her. I would have put her in my top 5
Yes.
too. She is just a machine.
And apparently she has bad hygiene.
Really? What?
It's come out in the last 19 hours.
What happened?
Someone said she smells.
But wouldn't you smell if you sweated all the time?
Yeah, probably.
But do you reckon she shaves her pits?
Yeah, I imagine she would.
I've heard though that she's going to be a part of. She wants to transition into the wrestling thing.
Yes. She's already transitioned into done a little bit of acting in the Expendables 3. She's a big, huge WWE fan as well.
Not massive.
Massive, yeah. But she's really well known. She's at the forefront of women's MMA in the UFC. I'm not talking about all MMA because women have been fighting longer than the UFC has allowed it. But she's definitely a big part of that. She's currently 10-0 in her mixed martial arts career, so she's quite successful.
She's the face of women's UFC.
I feel that, yes. I feel that she is definitely the face of women's UFC.
I feel they could put her in the octagon with some man and she'd still kick the shit out of
Oh, she'd destroy us.
Yeah.
She's
anyone could destroy you. Could destroy me.
Yeah.
Like, Yoda could destroy me. But
she's a fourth Dan in... I don't remember the discipline, but fourth Dan means like fourth black belt.
Okay.
Like she is not just like abs and breasts. She is a fighter.
And she's hot too. For a fighter.
I feel like if you have to say she's hot for a something, that means she's not actually hot.
She's hot for a chick.
If you put her on the... Oh. All right. Well, my number 5, Ronda Rousey.
Alrighty, my number 5 is Royce Gracie.
Wow, okay. Congratulations, sir.
What?
Very good.
What?
That's a good choice.
Yeah, he pioneered UFC.
That is a good
One
choice.
of the pioneers of UFC.
Yes. Fought 4 men, not at once.
Yeah.
He fought 4 times at UFC 2 and beat all men.
He won, I think he won UFC 1, 2 and 4.
Well,
He tied with Shamrock in one of them.
he had 4 fights at UFC 2.
Oh wow.
4 fights.
I've heard there's a bit of controversy where he won a tournament and he beat Shamrock by disqualification or points or something, and no, it was by submission.
Yep.
But Shamrock reckons that he was using his gi as some sort of weapon or some bullshit. I don't know.
Look, this was back in the bad old days of UFC where they didn't...
And there was no time limits, nothing.
Yeah, no, it was just like... UFC back then is very different from what it was now, but you're right. Royce Gracie showed fighters that you needed to be able to do more than punch and kick. You needed the jiu-jitsu in your game. You needed to be able to go to the ground and defend yourself successfully. He really did change the face of mixed martial arts.
He brought BJJ into it, didn't he?
He did, 100%.
And apparently he has the record to this day of consecutive submission victories.
11. Yes.
I know that.
Yeah, very good. Very clever.
So my number 5 is Royce Gracie.
No, I believe that. Another round of applause. Very good. My number 4. Now, my number 4 is a little bit different. He has been chosen for different reasons than my number 5. Number 4 is Chael Sonnen.
Damn it, another one where I had to sort of decide, okay, is Michael going to pick 5 just because they're good fighters, or is he going to pick... Because obviously you've gone 2 different ways.
I've gone 2 different ways.
I thought you would have gone one way, and I thought, he's either going to go the guy who's the draw card and gets people to hate him, Chael Sonnen.
Sonnen.
I instantly thought Chael Sonnen, and he was on
Amazing.
my list, and I thought, nah, Michael's going to want to impress all his new wrestling buddy, and he's going to have actual fighters.
Nah, I don't care about impressing anyone.
I would have had Chael Sonnen if I had gone that route. He was on my list,
He has an MMA record of 29-12, which is not, it's not stellar, but it's good. He is... Look, this is where my wrestling passion comes in. He is a heel.
Yeah.
He got into... Okay, my favourite moment of Chael Sonnen is when he took the mic at the end of a fight and he cut a wrestling promo.
I remember this.
Word for word, I believe it was Superstar Billy Graham. I believe it was a Superstar Billy Graham.
But I remember it just getting so much publicity, and the
Yes.
crowd fucking hated it.
Hated it. It was word for word, but that was his role. You then wanted to tune in and see him get beat up, and I think that is great. I think having a narrative and having good guys and bad guys is great for the business. I think you can't manufacture it though.
No.
You can't create these bad guys and these good guys. But if he wants to go out by himself and turning himself into a bad guy, that's perfectly fine. As long as there's nothing fake about it. I mean, I think that's where I like narrative, which is why I like the WWE. And that's why I have a hard time with UFC sometimes getting into a fight. The current fight coming up, John Jones versus Cormier, has a great narrative because these two hate each other. They're getting on TV in interviews with each other and just going, fuck you, Jim Jones. Jim Jones? John Jones. Fuck you, John Jones. Did you hear me? I said, fuck you. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Well, without story, it's like watching a sporting event and knowing that the end result doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like
Can't get into it.
Yeah, that's it. It's like with the story, I can be like, oh look, yes, they're very athletic, they're very good at what they do. But with story, I'm on a side and I'm invested, and that's what Chael Sonnen does.
I had him as your number 1 if I had gone that list.
Go on that, yeah. So Chael Sonnen is my number 4 just because he's that heel, and I feel like he gets engagement, even though he's currently banned from fighting because he had elevated levels of human growth hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's failed a couple of times, hasn't
He
he?
should go to the WWE. He would be amazing.
I think, didn't he want to and they didn't want him?
Yeah, probably.
They're dickheads.
Yes.
So, my number 4 is not, he's for the fact that he's a good fighter.
Okay.
But there's a reason he got bumped down. He was higher, but then I bumped him down to number 4, GSP.
Okay, very good.
Now, I bumped him down to number 4 because...
Very good.
because he's very injury prone. And I feel like...
Is he injury prone? I feel like that's a bold statement.
he's injured. Was it his ACL that he tore recently, and he had to vacate the title.
Yes.
And
yes.
see now he's on my list because when I started to really get into UFC, he was like the unstoppable guy.
He was the unstoppable machine.
Like, and besides Anderson Silva, who was also amazing as well. But GSP, he was just that dude where you'd go. And a little part of me hoped that he'd lose, but
you could never see it happening.
No.
He was so athletic.
You wanted to see him lose so you could say, I was there when he lost.
Yeah. GSP could go 25 minutes, no problem.
Nothing.
Not a problem in the world. I saw one fight where he tore his hamstring or something. He's like, I tore my hamstring in the second round.
Yeah.
He still went on.
Yeah.
Another 3 rounds and won the fight. Just a good choice.
And another reason why he got bumped down the list, I felt his fights got a little boring. Because
Suffered from the Anderson Silva treatment.
Because it was just always winning by points.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I just
every now and then you just want to see big 2 meat axes just knock each other.
And I sort of felt like, and I was at the Sporting Globe watching. I was at the Sporting Globe, and the guys are getting right into it, and I'm just thinking. Maybe it's just me, but I want to see action, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I didn't quite understand the rules properly.
Yeah.
What the points are based off. But I was just like, they're just doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's not just you. Even, I was watching a fight night on the weekend, and one of the fights, I believe it was Junior Dos Santos versus some Russian guy. And in the last couple of rounds, in the last couple of rounds, it kind of turned into a ground sort of game. And even Joe Rogan said, "Oh, it's a shame this fight's ending so boring."
Yeah.
I find the ground game enjoyable, but you're right. To your casual fan, it's boring as fuck.
We just want to see a knockout.
Yeah, just every now and then you want to see someone get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
So my number 4 is GSP.
And Chael Sonnen, 2 very different number 4s. Your number 4 would wipe the floor with my number 4.
I think you would.
My number 3, I feel like maybe we've got synergy here. We could be together on this.
I don't think we are.
Okay. My number 3 is Randy Couture.
Ooh, I had him on your 5. He's not on my list, but I had him for you.
Okay, good.
So I finally got a point.
Very good. I don't have any yet.
Oh, awesome.
Randy Couture's mixed martial arts record of 30 wins, 11 losses. He holds the distinction of being the oldest UFC champion of all time at 45 years of age.
He's fought all the big names.
This guy is like... Okay, as he was getting older, it was starting to get a little
Lesnar
bad.
was his last fight, was it?
And Lesnar...
Absolutely. Just mopped the
Yeah, Lesnar destroyed him. But no, Randy Couture, he seems like he's one of those guys that's always been there, right?
Yeah.
And he kept going...
He's the Undertaker of UFC.
Yeah, yes, and he went longer than he should have gone, maybe. But
Like the
to
Undertaker.
be champion at 45 years old... That's so old!
And it's not like they gave it to him.
No, he had
to beat somebody.
He had to beat someone.
Who did he beat for the title? I don't know that.
I don't know, it's just so old. Yeah. I believe he was the interim champion. And when Brock Lesnar came back, they unified it.
Was it? Was that it? Was it?
Maybe.
No. Wasn't the guy with the bald
Shane
head?
Carlin might have
He
been.
was the interim. Yeah, Shane Carlin.
Yeah. But anyway, he's on my list for that reason. He feels like he's always been there. He's a heavyweight, and I like watching heavyweights fight. And to have won the championship at 45 years of age is amazing.
Plus, one of the reasons...
Expendables.
That's what put over the line for the
Very good. He's been in 3 Expendable movies.
Yes.
So good for him, even with those messed up ears.
My number 3, I feel like you'll probably have this guy on the list.
On your list?
On my list, yeah. I feel this is probably an easy one for you.
Yep.
And I think you probably know why he's on my list.
Okay.
But he deserves to be on the list.
Alright, okay.
It's Ken Shamrock.
No.
You didn't put him on the list.
Didn't put him on the list.
He was the first, at the time it was called the Super Fight Champion.
Yep.
But that's the heavyweight championship. He was the first heavyweight champion of UFC.
Yep. I actually don't know much about Shamrock's MMA career, so you're going to have to educate
Him
me.
along with Royce Gracie, they were the first 2 Hall of Famers for
Yep.
UFC. They kept the thing going whilst it wasn't a mainstream popular thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Ken Shamrock to me just comes across like a dude who would not hesitate to just fucking kill you.
Oh yeah, he's
Like,
out of his mind.
He's not only not just a good fighter, he's fucking insane.
Yeah.
He scares me.
He's got his own school, doesn't he?
The Lion's Den?
Yeah, Lion's Den.
He genuinely scares me.
Yeah.
he did a podcast with Stone Cold talking about. Apparently, he started in wrestling before fighting.
Okay.
Who would have known? But anywho, he's talking about his childhood and stuff. And dude, he would kill you.
Yeah, I have no doubt
not
about
that
it.
he could.
He's riding a giant spider. I want none of that.
That's right. Yeah. Also, I'm reason obviously we're big wrestling fans. He was the first sort of fighter in WWE.
Yes,
And he brought in the submission victory.
Did he really?
Who was doing it before him? He made submission victories.
What was his thing?
The ankle lock. He made submission victory a thing in WWE.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So that's why I feel his legacy not only is in UFC but also in WWE.
That's a very good choice. I feel like my number 3 would be your number 3 in the fight, though.
Who's your number 3?
Randy Couture.
Yeah, I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, I'd pay to watch it.
2 50-year-olds.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is Ken Shamrock. Take it away. Whoops.
Oh, motherfucker.
Go.
My number 2, he has a record of 21 wins and 1 loss.
I know who it is.
He is the current light heavyweight champion of the world, John Bone Jones.
I had him on your list.
Yeah, very good, very good. John Jones, again, I feel like more recently I've really been sucked back into the UFC by John Jones. He's got this thing, I've already talked about this fight he's got coming up with Cormier.
Yeah, and he got you into it. Yeah.
These two play off each other so well, to the point that Jones looks like an arrogant heel.
Really?
He looks like an arrogant heel in this feud, and I've never seen him like that before. But he's just little things, like they were interviewing both of them, and they asked Jones, it's like, do you think that Cormier will be your toughest challenge? Cormier is undefeated.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, yeah, it's like, do you think it'll be tough? It's like, well, I don't know. This could happen or this could happen. And then that's not too bad. But then they ask Cormier, it's like, do you think John Jones will be a tough challenge? He's like, absolutely. Regardless of everything I've said about John Jones, yeah, he's a great fighter. And I'm just like, he just made you look like an absolute fuckwit.
So who do you want to win that fight then?
Cormier, 100%. Oh, he would be my number 1 if he won that fight.
John Jones, he's a light heavyweight champion.
Yes.
He was the youngest UFC champion
Yes.
of all time.
Yes.
His only loss was from, what wasn't it?
It was a bad ref's
Kept
decision.
doing that.
Everyone says the decision was bad as well.
Yeah.
Dana White
So
says the decision.
I think he's asked for it to be stricken from his record.
Yeah.
He's but
That happened in Sydney as well, didn't it?
I have no idea. I really have no
It
idea.
may have.
I feel though that he is sort of like the Floyd Mayweather of UFC. You know how Floyd Mayweather doesn't look like a tough dude, but he just fucking always wins.
No, I disagree. Jones looks like a tough motherfucker.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't look tough.
but he does always win.
Yeah, and,
yeah.
and is he cocky?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I
he
sort of-
may have been able to hide that up until this point,
Yeah.
but I think this fight has really shown that he is a cocky dickhead.
Yeah.
Which I like. And I had to put him on his list.
You'd be cocky if you were 20.
Yeah.
And technically, that one shouldn't even be there.
No, it shouldn't. He should be 21-0. And I had to put him on my list as well because he stopped the rise of my favourite fighter. My
Chris
favourite
Laban.
fighter... Huh?
Chris Laban?
No.
No.
Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader.
My favourite
I
fighter...
always get Laban and Bader confused. That's what I meant.
Yeah. My favourite fighter who didn't make this list because... apart from beating Rampage a little while
You
ago.
always just talk about Ryan Bader.
Yeah,
Always.
I love Ryan Bader, man. I watched the entire... That was the first Ultimate Fighter that I watched from episode 1 to the end. He came out, he started winning some good fights. He gets into the octagon against John Jones. And it's a decent fight, but John Jones wins. And then after it, they go, oh, by the way, this was for the number 1 contendership for the light heavyweight title. And it's just like, no... Ryan, of all the matches for you to lose, what have you done? And then, I don't know, he just never got it back after that. I mean, he beat Rampage, but I called that a mile away. I said, these two, they both fight the same. They're
John Jones?
No, Ryan Bader
Ryan Bader,
and Rampage. They're just guys that throw people on the ground and throw a lot of punches.
Yeah.
And Bader's younger. So why would he not win that match? And I won $330 on that. So that was good.
Cool.
Yeah. But John Jones is my number 2, and I'm really excited for January 4th. I'll be at the Sporting Globe watching this if you are Geelong based. feel free to join.
Come down and buy Michael beers. Or what do you
Or
want,
wings. Wings. Buy me wings.
He's probably, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound fighter in UFC.
Yes.
And I feel like he's nowhere near the end of his career. He has such a bright future ahead
He
of
does.
him.
He really does.
He has potential to be the best fighter of all time, which is probably why he's my number one.
He's your number one.
Yeah.
Very good. That's a good. Man, I thought your list was going to be so shitty and generic that I have not got a single point yet.
Really? John Jones was my number one. So
You've already got 2 points, right?
I got.
So I
John
can't
Jones
win
to-
now.
yeah. Unless you get my number one.
I
You
don't.
didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah.
What's your number 2? Maybe I can get 1 point.
Should we get into my number two?
Well, yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Yes, I had Anderson Silva as your number 1. Shit.
He wasn't. I was tossing and turning. I thought, nah, John Jones,
Yep.
as I just said, pound for pound, and he's still got a few years ahead of him.
Yeah, very, very
So,
much.
Anderson Silva. Should we get into my number two? Anderson
Yes,
Silva?
let's do number 2.
I should have to get the points why I chose him as number two.
Let's not get into your number
Well,
1.
basically, he has the longest streak on top, as champion.
Yeah.
Streak. I think it's 10 title defenses, 16 weeks,
Yep.
and that's fucking awesome.
I couldn't put him on my list
Why not?
because I hate him as a human being.
Is it because he doesn't speak English and he's post interviews?
No, it's because he got bored.
He
Didn't get boring. He got bored.
He looks like he goes in the octagon now and he doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, he's bored, and I think the way he fights now makes him look bad, makes his opponents look bad, and I've heard Dana White say the same thing. So if Dana
he called him out for a bad fight, didn't he?
Yes. So if Dana White and I agree, the expert and the owner, I mean, come on.
But Dana White has said that he is the best fighter
Yes.
of all time.
Oh, 100%.
And I think because he knows it, it's just like, I think there's no challenge for him.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's coming back from his leg injury, where he snapped his leg like a twig.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's had the steel rod removed so
Why?
he can fight again. Well, you can't fight with steel rod.
Who snapped his leg?
He threw a leg. He snapped it himself. He threw a leg kick,
Oh,
and then
wow.
it just wrapped around
So
someone's
is that
leg.
how he
like-
lost his first? Is that how he lost the title? How did he lose the title? They have to vacate it because of the injury.
Yeah. Well, he
So
lost.
I wasn't following it. So
Yeah.
apologies, guys.
Yeah, and now he's coming back to fight. He'll never be able to throw a leg kick again.
That's who he was.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
He
And also, just in case there are any casual fans out there, don't comment in there saying, "Oh, leg kick. What else do you kick with?" A leg kick is a kick to the leg. All right, it's
didn't
not a
know
kick. It's not a kick with your leg, because all kicks are with your leg.
Yeah.
I've had that being said to
kick with
me.
your foot.
I've had that being said that you never kick with your foot.
So do you want to quickly just wrap up who we thought each other's top five was going to be?
No, because we still have to do my number 1.
Oh shit, okay then. Be right back. Well, obviously, my number one was John Jones, as we went into. Before Michael gets into his number one, we need to do the draw.
Oh,
Sam Chadwick, I believe there's a voucher coming your way.
Yes.
Possibly
You
two.
can't win. No, you
You
can't win
both.
two.
If you get drawn out twice, I hope he gets nothing.
If you get drawn out twice, I eat the second one, and we go again.
So, for the $30 Pop Culture gift card, good prize.
Yeah.
Thanks to our friends at Pop Culture, popculture.com.au.
Oh no.
Who is it?
It's the one that I debated on whether I should even put it in the list.
Oh, I saw who it is.
Craig Rowland,
Craig Rowland, and his favourite UFC fighter is...
CM Punk. Which is, I feel like we should have said in the intro why we did this list. Because CM Punk is now going to be making his UFC debut. He'll be making it in March. I will be in America in March. It would be smart of them to do it in California since the WrestleMania crowd's there. So fingers crossed I get to see UFC.
It's meant to be till July, apparently.
Has it been pushed back?
Last I read, it was always going to be July.
No, it was supposed to be March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I heard.
So
But
Craig
anyway,
Rowland, congratulations.
Craig Rowland, that's a fucking shit pick, man. You're
Terrible person.
a troll.
Do you hope CM Punk gets his ass whooped?
Oh my god, I would love it. Oh, it would be the greatest. Sam Chadwick
Oh, Sam Chadwick, you got one.
and Donald, I hope I'm saying this right, Cerrone?
He's obviously an up-and-comer. I think I saw him write a big spiel about him.
Okay. I have no idea who that is.
No.
But I'll take your word for
But
it.
Sam Chadwick, you just won a Quody shirt voucher, 50% off up to 5 items, not just shirts, they've also got beanies. Got a Simpsons vending machine, you can ask the owner if you'll go 50% off, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone that commented and got involved. Facebook.com/Torrent if you haven't liked our page already. Now, Michael, get into your number one.
My number 1 has been mentioned already on your list.
On my list, so I've said them.
Yes.
I believe it's going to be... Ooh. And Silva?
No. My number 1 is Royce Gracie.
Royce Gracie.
Yes, for the same reason as Django Fett. I honestly believe that without Royce Gracie, I'm not saying that UFC wouldn't exist, but I don't think it would be where it's at right now. I think it would have taken more time for the ground game and jiu-jitsu to become as necessary as it has. And I think without those elements, you're just watching boxing, but with smaller gloves. So I think that's what separates, and the cage as well, that separates it. So I think the cage and the ground game really separates UFC from boxing and kickboxing. And that's why I think that Royce Gracie is one of the most important people in UFC history, with an MMA record of 11-2.
Is that why you were so impressed when I put him on my list?
Yes, I was like, very good, sir.
He comes from like the back in the day when UFC wasn't a very popular thing. I'd heard of it, I'd seen clips of it, didn't really interest me, because at the time it was just two dudes going into a cage. No time limits, no rounds.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Just two dudes in a cage fighting, and after like the 20-minute mark, you're like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having the rounds makes it more interesting.
It does.
Because they can win that round.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Win it on points and things. Yeah. Very good. Royce Gracie, number 1.
Okay, so let's get into what we thought each other's top 5 were going to be.
Cool.
You go first.
Let me go first?
Yeah,
okay. I thought you would have the Iceman.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Chuck Liddell.
I thought you'd have him.
I thought you'd have... I don't know why I thought you'd have this, but I thought you would. I thought you'd have Kimbo Slice.
No, it didn't even come into my mind.
See, I think this is just me not giving you enough credit.
Okay.
I thought you'd have the Huntington Beach bad boy.
I don't know who that is.
Tito Ortiz.
Oh, God, no.
No?
He has cock shots online. I'm not putting him in.
I thought
Worst TNA debut in history as well.
Yeah, it's terrible. Thought you'd have old mate Quinton, Rampage Jackson, and I thought your number 1 would be Anderson Silva. So 1 point for me.
Oh, this is going to be so sweet.
No, it's not. Is this the first time?
First time. First time for what?
You winning.
I won.
You won.
I won the UFC episode.
Oh, terrible.
It's because, like you said, you didn't give me enough credit.
So I didn't
go for the obvious.
I didn't give you any
I
credit.
thought you'd have John Jones.
Okay, yep.
I thought you'd have Chuck Liddell. Yeah, like him?
I don't like the Iceman.
Okay. I thought you would have Anderson Silva.
Okay.
I thought you'd have Randy Couture.
Okay, yep.
And I thought your number 1 was going to be Rampage Jackson. I thought you loved him. Right.
Yeah, I do, but... And I thought about putting him on my list, but as my mate at work rightfully pointed out, Rampage Jackson did all of his cool stuff in K1.
Okay.
All of these like big Rampage slams and stuff came from when he was fighting in Japan.
Is it because UFC wouldn't let him?
No, it has nothing to do. It's just I don't know, because K1 at that time was bigger than UFC.
Okay.
So he would have been making more money fighting in Japan.
Yeah, makes more sense.
He said that he considers Japan his hometown.
He's a really funny guy.
He is.
I remember that. I always remember you telling me you going onto his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And it says Quinton Rampage Jackson is a fat nigger bear.
No,
it
wasn't Rampage.
Who was it?
It was Rashad Evans.
That's right. The fat nigger bear.
Don't say that word.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it's a direct quote from Wikipedia.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Wikipedia, I love
Rashad Evans, if I hadn't thought of him, I would have put him on your list. I thought you liked him. No. But obviously...
He's a fat bear.
So thanks for watching the Torrent this top 10 UFC fight. This was a lot more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be.
Good.
Because I felt like I know nothing about UFC, but I feel like I don't know.
Well, this is a test. What we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can do outside the TV and the moves and if people care. If no one cares, this is the only sport-related list you'll ever see.
Of all time.
If you do care, we'll maybe do more.
This gets 1 million views.
Yeah, well then we'll do more.
Goodbye pop culture.
Yeah, get out. Good, hello tap out.
Yes.
I will wear your douchey tap out shirts. I don't care.
But thanks to Pop Culture and Dakota Show for being our official sponsors here on the Torrent this top 10. Michael, before we do that. Facebook.com/Torrent this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like us on Facebook, as I said. Michael, any final words?
Yes.
I need this to be on your radar screen.
What? Okay. Mount that head. Hold on.
Stretch puppy.
There we go.
There we go. An excellent ending.
Hey guys, don't forget if there's a list you want to see, you gotta tell us in the comments. And make sure you like and subscribe so you know when we do it.